Oh, so many things have inspired me to become an artist. And one of the main reasons is the drive to heal myself internally. It gives me so much peace and calm. It's a real passion of mine to continue the art journey the way that I am, because it gives me many things other than a beautiful painting or something to hang on the wall or something for an exhibition or a gallery. My artistic journey has evolved in so many ways um, since I've been a child all the way up into the age that I am now. I originally started off in the fine arts and specialised in sculpture for a year at Edinburgh College of Art. And at that stage, I still wasn't sure about what I wanted to do within the art sector. I ended up going into graphic and digital design, where I ended up having a career for 15 years. And although that was very fulfilling, it was very rigid in terms of the creative sense. Um, there was no freedom to be expressive in any way, shape, or form, and that didn't sit right with me. And in the background, I've always painted and explored and, had fun with art. And, that was my passion to continue that journey. Um, However, I did work in the graphic and digital design sector, working freelance for different companies and different brands around the world. And that was extremely fulfilling and exciting and vibrant. Um, but again, I was always painting in the background. And later on in life, after having my children, I really found peace and calm in painting the ocean. And I would still explore the fun element of colourful abstract art as well. So I really like that contrast in the work that I do. The themes I explore in my work, I would say mainly are the ocean, water, the mountains. Where I was brought up in Scotland, I lived around a vast countryside, and I did have access to go further up north to places like Loch Lomond, and I was always amazed at how beautiful that place was, where we had the water and the hills and the mountains or the highlands. It really drew me in. And later on in life, when I lived in Hong Kong, I was surrounded by the ocean and obviously the beautiful mountains and hills in Hong Kong. And, it's just such a stunning sea that there was no way that I could pull back from that. So that really pushed me towards painting the ocean and mountains. And, I love the rhythm of the water, the movement of the waves, and the acoustics. It's just so calming to the soul, and it brings a lot of peace. And the main inspiration for the piece in this exhibition is really, well, really, I should say that it's an intuitive painting that I've done. Um, my inspiration always comes from the ocean and the mountains. I'm finding calm and peace. And I feel that in this painting, I've really captured that. Where we have dark times, dark moments, the dark feelings, and we must remember that there's always light round the corner. And where we had obstacles, we must remember that we always overcome them. And I really feel that this painting represents that. The mountains representing the obstacles that you can overcome, and the darkness representing the troubled times that you may go through, and the light in the sky showing you that, there is light at the end of the tunnel. And the water itself was very calm and peaceful. And some people think I've got a signature of painting birds in my artwork. And for some reason, I do that quite often now. And I think that represents flight and freedom and having the choice to navigate your own path in life. And that really comes together in my artwork, especially the piece that is in this exhibition. The materials I prefer to work with are acrylic paints. Previously, I used to use oils as well. However, that can present obstacles in the way that I work, because my work is very intuitive. I like to change things up quite fast. And with oils and the drying time, I find that very difficult. And also living in Hong Kong, working with oils, the dry time would take more than 6 or 7 months because of the humidity levels. So I ended up changing to acrylics. And I find it easier to work with in terms of the intuitive art that I do. I love using charcoal and different utensils in the work that I do. A lot of water and spraying onto the canvas and different rags and tools to create texture and patterns. I think one of the most favorite tools I have are the scrapers and different brushes. So, brushes that you perhaps use to keep your home tidy or use in the garden, or wire tools as well. So it's about mixing it up and finding different elements within different tools that give you the texture and the look that you're looking for within your artwork. I want viewers to just feel anything that they like, however they interpret it. If I can make someone feel something, if they've not felt something in a while, then I'm already winning. So my creative process starts off with not your typical way of doing it, not the way that I was taught at art college to go out and take photographs or, gather things. I actually don't do that at all. And some people may question that. However, I'm very much an intuitive artist. So I'll go straight into my studio. I'll layer up the canvas in gesso, a couple of layers. And sometimes I don't even use gesso at all, which is technically a primer for the canvas. And I'll really just let my mind flow wherever it wants to go. It sometimes depends on my mood, what type of week I've had, perhaps how I'm feeling at that time. But really everything comes from within me. And that's why my paintings are very much a part of me. There's a piece of my soul in my painting. So you don't just get an artwork, but you get a piece of me in that. But really I just go right in there with my acrylics, get all my tools ready, various tools, obviously the brushes and spatulas. I have different tools that, make different marks on the canvas, and I'll really just experiment and have fun. I think that's the beauty in art as well. There is no wrong or right, and it's about experimenting, having fun, and reconnecting with that child side of you where there is no judgment. And I think that's extremely important when you are an artist, to connect back to your child self. The concept of development for me is not so much in the pre-paint section, but definitely in the middle section of doing a painting. And that development really takes form and shape when I'm in the zone, so to speak. I will just go with the flow. And I think that's really important, to just connect with the artwork and the utensils and the paint in a very organic and holistic way. And so I don't surround myself with things to be inspired by. I try to connect within my heart, my soul, and my mind all at once. And that comes together in the artwork.
Okay. What role does experimentation play in your art making?
What role? Experimentation does play a major part in making art. And again, it connects back to having fun and, connecting back to those times where it's about learning and feeling and exploring. I do like to experiment on smaller pieces of canvas or sketchbooks, just to trial out different colours or different textures together, and then I'll implement that on the bigger canvas. And however, I really do like just experimenting on my large scale canvases, and I just love that freedom. And I don't like to be constricted to small experimentations as a whole. I hope people who view my artwork will really think about how they look at my painting and how they interpret it. And some people may think they see a painting and it's just a landscape or ocean art, but I'd like them to look deeper into the meaning of it and really consider what they're looking at and how to interpret that. And I'd like them to kind of think deeper and connect with their own emotions a lot more when they view my artwork, and to take away the notion that there's always more to the story. My work contributes in many different ways. If I consider the collectors that I have at the moment, and for example, I have one collector who has chosen different pieces of my artwork for their home. And the reason they have given is that my paintings give them back some memories that they had when they were a child. She doesn't have pictures from her childhood and from the places that she'd been. And one painting in particular reminded her of the time when she spent up in North Scotland and saw the Northern Lights. And she said my painting was almost an exact replica of a memory that she had. And that's really beautiful in a sense that she's made that connection with my art. And that brings so much warmth to me as an artist, that I have helped another person with, a cherished memory from their childhood. My future plans at the moment are to explore printmaking. In Taiwan, when I was there in 2019, I visited a printing factory where they actually made their own paper. And I made my own paper and I done some print work. And it really took me back to that time when I was exploring print work and as an art student as well. So I would like to experiment with that over the next 12 months. In the coming years, I'd say the way I see my artwork evolving is actually reconnecting back to the influences I had when I lived in Hong Kong. I was exploring more of an Asian style of art, and where I was painting kimonos, and the shapes I was using in my paintings were a lot more decorative and ornate. And I would like to do a collection which reconnects me back to that time. So watch this space.